Acting Police Minister Firoz Cachalia is demanding answers from National Commissioner of the Police, General Fani Masemola, on why he failed to furnish him with a report on the political killings task team, yet he's at liberty to make public pronouncements on it. Now, this comes after Masemola on Thursday announced that 121 dockets that were taken from that political killings task team, allegedly at the instructions of the now suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya, will be returned to KZN. Willem Els from the Institute for Security Studies joining us now from Pretoria to talk about this. Willem, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Let's start with how you think the public should read what is going on here. The Minister of Police, well, at least the current Acting Minister of Police, says he requested a report on this political killings task team from Masemola, and that report is not forthcoming from Masemola. Instead, he is making pronouncements around this team. How should we read that?
Good evening to you, Xoli. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You know, it was an ideal opportunity for the acting minister to actually restore some of the faith of the public within the establishment, but also to change the perception of the general public that what indeed happened in KwaZulu-Natal was political interference. So it is really unfortunate that it seems that the lines between your political management as well as your operational management of the police is being blurred. There's nothing wrong with the minister asking for a report, because at the end of the day, the minister is responsible for your policies and your strategic planning, etc., and he also has to report to Parliament on that. But to do it in such an open and a public fashion is maybe unfortunate.
Can the police commissioner, Masemola, argue that these are operational matters and therefore I don't have to give you any information around this, because perhaps that could be read as trying to micromanage or interfere?
Yeah, indeed. And that is unfortunate because, you know, at the end of the day, these dockets have been registered, they've been investigated, and some of these dockets, according to General Mngambi, some arrest warrants have already been issued, and those arrests are imminent. So that is the normal procedures when you are investigating, your operational investigating your dockets. So these dockets, according to the evidence that was placed, you know, and the statements by the senior officers, it seems that General Sibiya overruled, or he did not honor the direct line of command to Masemola, and he confiscated those dockets and brought it to Pretoria without the knowledge of the National Commissioner. So this we see as a National Commissioner take over control. That is rightfully so. He is at the end of the day the boss when it comes to policing, and those decisions should go past him. And I think this is basically a tit for tat, where he said, okay, the rule of law must take its course, investigations must go on, because at the end of the day, you know, the Commission is not going to investigate these dockets. So, at any stage, the Commission has got the authority to summon these investigators that are working on these dockets and to come and explain and to come and testify on the Commission without interfering with the daily process of due process when it comes to investigations.
Talking about the boss, I'm borrowing from your words here, the president is reportedly fuming. And that's how the City Press newspaper is framing this today, is fuming over the decision around these 121 documents, because his view is that these form part and parcel of what the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry is going to be investigating. Might we see the president take action against the commissioner of the police? Because that's actually who Masemola's boss is, the president.
Of course, yeah, he's been appointed by him. That he is responsible to me. He's the only one that can actually act against him. So, but once again, that creates the perception at the general public that political interference in these cases are very rampant. So that is really unfortunate. And of course, as I mentioned, the law must take its course. The Judicial Commission is there to interrogate what happened, not who, what, where, why, and how. All those questions that are being asked by your investigation teams, whenever they get to the crux of it, the Commission can also not arrest people when it comes to that. That lays in the hand of the task team. So, but at any stage, they can summon them to the task team to bring those dockets and to come and explain them to the Commission. What we see is maybe that is just another stalling tactic, because we already saw that it's not going to start on the 1st because of it being blundered by the Department of Justice. And further delays will even further the perception that they are playing for time and they want this commission and this whole thing to lose momentum. So at the end of the day, I think it is very unfortunate.
This subject, Willem Els, what we are talking about here, is part of the national discourse, and people are very interested in it. And this is why today the SACP, coming out of its biggest committees, or should we say biggest decision-making structures, has decided that it is actually going to weigh in. I'd like for us to listen for a moment to the General Secretary of the SACP, Xoli Mngambi, who was addressing just a short while ago.
It is unacceptable for public office bearers to interfere in operational matters, including investigations. The SACP therefore welcomes the decision by the National Police Commissioner, General Masemola, who announced at the 27th Interpol African Regional Conference on Thursday, 28 August 2025, to return 121 case docket previously removed from the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Investigation Task Team.
There we go, Willem. So the Minister of Police, not the acting Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, is on suspension on claims that he interfered in police operational matters. We now have an acting Minister of Police. As you hear the SACP leader there say that they are against interference in police matters by public office bearers. Is the current Minister of the Police, the acting one, being accused of saying?
Yeah, I think he's been accused because of the perceptions that were created around these instructions, also because it was done in the open. So we believe that the minister is going to turn things around, and while he's being the caretaker minister, he will put in some organisms and mechanisms in place in order to facilitate for the police to do their work in a free and environment without interference. So that is what we would like to believe is going to happen. And it's still early days, but as I mentioned in the beginning, it is really unfortunate because everything now is about perception, because we still do not have any facts when it comes to that. That will come out in the Mngambi Commission.
Final question, Willem. And having spoken about all of what is happening within police management, all the way up to the political office of the president, once again, I go back to that initial question I opened with. The public watching what is unfolding here, does this inspire confidence in how this administration is handling this matter? Or is it fast becoming a free-for-all, at least perceptively?
I think so. It's very unfortunate because at the end of the day, your public trust in the police in order to protect them and to investigate and to do and to fulfill their mandate in terms of the Constitution is currently just about 20%, just above 20%. It fell from 26% after the Mngambi interview. So it is rock bottom at the moment, and public trust levels are at an all-time low. So that is why it is very important that our political leadership demonstrate some clear leadership and that they handle this whole thing in such a manner that it doesn't further erode the public trust, because we cannot afford that. But also the trust in the police. Should the police now go and they start to arrest these people, they start to clear up the mess that is there by investigating the dockets and then also bringing it before court, that will go a long way to restore that trust within the police.
Willem Els is with the Institute for Security Studies. Thank you very much for your time and analysis of what we are currently seeing playing out within the police management.